Majority of his big names fit and available in the Premiership for the first time this season. Curtly Beale amongst them. This is the Wallabies' league debut at fullback. Elliot Daly's back from his suspension. Danny Cipriani back from injury. The Red Arrows set to fly in the skies above Coventry. Up front, a couple of notable milestones. Joe Launchbury is ready to captain the team again on the occasion of his 100th game. And Matt Mullen preparing to play in the Aviva Premiership for the 150th time, a career that began at Worcester, continues to blossom here in the West Midlands. Huge boost for Bath and Todd Blackadder, what with the return to arms this week of their South African kingpin, Francois Lowe. First time he's been fit to play in the league this season after hurting himself playing for the Boks against the All Blacks. Lowe linking up then with Talupe Faletau in the back row. Faletau also still easing his way back in after injury, set to lock horns with Nathan Hughes at 10. George Ford ready to pull the strings against the club he's been linked with if and when he leaves Bath at the end of the season. Ford versus Cipriani, another Christmas Eve blockbuster. And what about Jonathan Joseph against Elliot Daly, two outside centres seemingly vying for the same England shirt?
You get the impression that if Bath are going to win this game, they need their misfunctioning line-out to really fire today. Central to that will be Charteris using his height to deliver the ball required. And against him, Launchbury, a man who's just been in superb form since his return to action. And Wasps really do play better when that man's in the team.
Well, Ben, when you look at the two backlines, they're internationals littered right across here, whether it's at 9, 10 and 12. Spoke about that, but I've got to say I'm excited seeing Elliot Daly lock horns to Jonathan Joseph. Elliot Daly back from suspension and up against who I believe is the best 13 in the country. Both of them possess skill, ability, pace, and unbelievable amount of X factor.
Well, there is so much to look.
They're up against the best defence in Bath. Whatever the outcome, it's going to be a brilliant game, Nick.
Luke Pearce, along with Craig Maxwell-Keys and Peter Allen, will keep law and order. Graham Hughes, like lots of us over Christmas, parking himself in front of the telly. Here's the TMO. What have you seen, Hughes?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to kick long right. Elliot Daly's obviously been a key chaser for Wasps this season. The last game he played for England, he felt, unfortunately, his game was cut a little bit short. He'll want to be starting this game really brightly.
Job for Talupe Faletau, who's settling into his new shirt after a knee injury on the opening weekend, is to gather the kickoff safely enough. And here's his opposite number, 5th gear, 6th gear, rifling into the defence immediately. What a battle that's going to be today. Hughes and Faletau, and Cipriani and Ford, and wherever you look, there are meaningful head-to-heads. Launchbury driving it forward over halfway. Cipriani once more to Gopeth, who's happily playing whatever fiddle it might be at inside centre this season. That second pair of eyes, second pair of hands, second pair of feet working so well for Wasps and so many other clubs. For the first time at fullback, Curtly Beale, Premiership debut, finally a Premiership player after the knee injury for the Waratahs at the back end of his career at home in Sydney. And this is Matt Mullen, 150th Premiership appearance. There's a solid grey line of Bath defenders, however. Luke Charteris, the latest to engage himself.
7 phases, they haven't really gone anywhere yet, but there's always that threat, isn't there, in that back line. But while they're running into Bath's big forwards, Bath will be delighted that they're wasting their energy.
This is Daly, taking no time to reintroduce himself after that ban playing for England, upending Leonardo Senatore. Christian Wade, rather frustrating dry patch of late, 7 games without a try. Cipriani once again to ship the ball on, this time to Marty Moore. Beale provides the link to Halai, and Halai grapples his way through the tackles. Launchbury. Tackle only. Pops up for Simpson. They are making ground now via James Gaskell. Garvey clobbered back over the ball as he tried to pick it up. Launchbury once more.
You just see every time the ball goes to that wing, Halai just creeping for that flat ball to be delivered, and when you've got the likes of Beale there to throw it, it's a real threat that Rocco Daguni is going to struggle to deal with, but they turn it over.
2.5 minutes, ball in possession. It was eventually spilt forward by Thomas Young, and the chase for Aled Drew. But Gotta's got back there first, and he has the support of Mullen, who finds the slightly swifter Wade. Falatau, a lung-bursting, leg-aching start to this match for the teams. And still they go on. Homer provides the link. He took a clobber for his pains. It was Daly who came in with the hit.
Hold on. Stay down.
And finally,
It's going to be a scrum your ball. All right.
Oh, what a magnificent start to the game. Wasps going through phase after phase.
Scrum, Bath ball.
Yeah, this is what is so nice. You look at the Wasp backline, they all get connected. Cipriani, Gopov, Kirtley-Beale with this deadly pass. That's the ball which Halley's looking for, that flat pass. But when they get connected as a backline together, they've got a huge amount of options.
We saw the opposite side of it, though, that having gone through 15, 16 phases for Wasps, when they turned it over, Halley just getting his knee in his head in the wrong place, catching the back of his head on Rokoduguni's knee there. See just that late step onto the head. But just saw George Ford accelerate and target the forwards who had almost punched themselves out with the amount of carries they'd had to do. That's what Wasps need to be really careful of.
it's not just the high tackles that cause injuries, Hugo. We're being told to go lower. That's what they're going to have to do in the new year, and you've still got to be careful.
Of course, Ben and I were talking about this last week. If you do set low, it's about actually teaching really good behaviours and something technical, because when you think about tackling low, the hard bits of the body are the hips and the knees. But Nick had just been looking at how Wasps are actually setting up to play at the moment, and it's really simple. So you've got all the forwards stood in the front line, and then you've got the back stood in the backfield. So you can play through the forwards, or you can play out the back. This way, they actually choose to play through the forwards. But when you've got the likes of Bill, Gopov, Cipriani in the back, you get that connectivity, and you can create absolute mayhem. Really good discipline in attack.
Full time on the crouch again.
Halley is heading off to be checked.
Yeah, you are.
Rob Miller
We'll turn the clock on the crouch.
is there with us. He's done all he can so far this season to make the decision to start with Kirtley-Beale ahead of him, the toughest of ones. He's had a fabulous first half to the season.
He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. We're talking about it earlier. He's similar to a player like Phil Dolman down at Exeter. He may not be a superstar name in terms of international what he's achieved, but he's had an outstanding season at 15 and even at 10.
That's Ross Batty in the middle of it all. Calm photo Aliti. Picked up by Falatau and finds Rokoduguni, who's gone his way through some heavy traffic in impressive fashion. And the first job for Rob Miller, who's barely been on the pitch, is to stop Samisa Rokoduguni in full flight.
What a tackle that was, I swear. How important was that?
Yeah, really good play from Bath off the base, because Falatau was caught. He's got such good hands, particularly when he goes from the back of the scrum. He's always aware. Rokoduguni will run that line in case he gets caught, just stumbling. And then the step inside Simpson. The forwards do their job of holding the back row in. And unfortunately for Rokoduguni, he spills the ball, or it's stripped off him.
5 Premiership tries so far this season. Has gone long and launching to Simpson with ball that they wouldn't have been expecting. Gotta did what he could to try and get that away quickly, and again Rokoduguni going down the outside lane, and Joseph herring after it. Oh, he gets there first, and Tapawai is there.
Big overlap to the left, Nick. It's the work of Thomas Young, who completely rescues his Wasp side after the break and kick ahead by Rokoduguni. We saw the pace of Joseph outstripping Daly to the ball. Loose, that's what Bath want to force. Loose play from Wasps. Rokoduguni goes, kicks in field. And Thomas Young, when Bath had a massive overlap out to the left-hand side, comes up with a vital turnover.
Well, Paul Grayson spoke about it earlier. Wasps are incredible off turnover ball, but equally as susceptible when they turn the ball over. Teams seem to score quite quickly, and so their reactions, what Thomas Young showed there, have got to be right to the max.
Tommy Taylor, Wasps hooker, he's been hitting his line-out targets 90% of the time this season, but both sides, both hookers have lost their opening throws. And again, Rocker Daguni, who's been industrious early on, and Joe Simpson just to evade his clutches. Hughes. Cipriani, Gopperth, and now Beale.
Faletau with a counter ruck, gets his foot through onto the ball as well.
Wasps use it.
Taking some time to jam its way out of the works. Test for Alad Brew, and he loses that test. And now the burst from Young, and Young taking on Ford, and he tops it back for Wade, and the drought is over. 7 games without a try, but it won't be 8. Christian Wade with the try and the extravagant celebrations, and they're up and running on Christmas Eve.
What a start Thomas Young's had. First of all, gets that vital turnover penalty, and then as Wasps clear their line, come down the field, the mistake by Brew, no real pressure, he's got to do better than that. Turns his back, takes his eye off, looks at Wade, and then the acceleration, but look at this fend, he's in total control, just lifts it up to Wade, and as soon as it's securely in that man's hand, there's only going to be one result.
But Thomas Young, like you said, what a brilliant 2 minutes he's had. Exhausts his pace as much as he can, and Christian Wade, just like every good poacher, on hand. How about this for a celebration? I'm not sure if they're skipping or what, but either way, it looks pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, kind of.
Christian Wade's last try before that one was here in October against Harlequins. It's been a long and frustrating wait, but it's over now. He really likes that side of the posts at that end of the pitch. Slap between the uprights. It's a 7-point score for Wasps and Wade.
Just see the eyes come down at the last minute. He doesn't need to, he's done everything right. He turns his side to him, the ball's going to drop into the breadbasket. But what an offload from Young. Aware of where the touchline is. Hugo's busy trying to teach me that right now.
Hughes underneath the high restart. Going into Max Laheath.
Yeah, he's making a good effort.
Charteris extricating himself legally. Young again.
Advantage.
Was asking in the end just a little bit too much of Marty Moore.
It's a poor mistake just after you've just conceded, I have to say.
Talking a lot about what players, clubs are doing between January and December this year. Wasps are ripping up most of the existing records, and Christian Wade's just brought himself alongside Ian Ballshort.
Okay, bind up, let's go.
If they win
there is. Ball's here, get on with it.
today, they will
Come on,
equal records as well, and that's their 100th try in the Premiership this season, which pulls them alongside Richmond's record haul, which they got back in 1998. That's how well Wasps are doing in an attacking sense this season.
Just hearing Nick that Frank Halai's not coming back on. He hasn't passed the HIA, and Miller's on for the duration now.
Stand up. Yeah, okay. Just reset it. I need you both up a bit, okay? So just step
For
up a
Frank
little bit.
Halai, we've been talking about how well Miller's been playing, but Halai with a rare chance to start
Come on, bind up,
this
let's go.
season, ahead of Josh Bassett as well, who's been in fine form, and Halai doesn't last more than a few minutes.
Josh Bassett's been brilliant this year. First saw him properly during the Singer Sevens, actually, where he captained his side to winning that trophy, and he hasn't really stopped. Scoring twice in the last 2 European rounds. And I guess the only reason he isn't playing today is because he's had that much game time.
Early Wasps.
Free kick taken by Falatau. Lost that forward, he's dropped it. It was an energetic, purposeful run, but didn't work out in the end.
Well, again, just trying to get that fend up in front of the ball, into the forearm, into the chest, and then extend the hand away. But Simpson doing a really good job of leaving his hand hooked underneath the ball and ripping it as he's bounced off.
Yeah.
It's one of 3 games being played this afternoon. We'll keep in touch with events at Allianz Park and also Sandy Park. Exeter against Leicester kicking off at 3 o'clock. But the 1:30 kick-off in North London. Saracens against Newcastle just reached half-time, and Marcelo Bosch, with his try, has the champions ahead after Newcastle took an early lead, 13-6. Sarries lead the Falcons.
Set.
It's a scrum that was a little bit of a mess, and it was a mess because Luke Pearce decided Bath were pulling it round.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit harsh. That I think he could have done with straightening up the scrum before the ball came in. Bath felt they were driving straight.
Hugo.
Yeah, just been looking, whenever there's an aerial attack, the one thing you want at the back of the pitch is protection. And when I look at the reactions of George Ford at the back there highlighted, they're not quite good enough. By the time the ball's dropped, Thomas Young reacts quicker, and George Ford is on the back foot. Tom Young wins that race, Thomas Young wins that race, and Christian Wade scores a try. Aerial threat is so important, you have to defuse every bit of bomb.
Gaskell athletically, and now Wade accelerating away. He's got the bit back between his teeth. Christian Wade's on his way. That is box office from Wade. You won't see any blockbuster this Christmas more busting than that from Christian Wade. He's not scored in a couple of months. He's got 2 in a dozen minutes.
Wow, just watching it unfold and then spotting each and every opportunity to go past someone. It's a brilliant setup play to give him the opportunity one-on-one, running 2 players down the same defensive channel, giving the defender options to worry about. Just watch that, almost that diamond that Wasps used to employ, and then manages to get out of the tackle, but then he's just so aware of who's around him, and look, he's almost coasting over the line at the end because he knows he's there. That is a stunning score from Christian Wade.
They actually defend it. Their setup is brilliant from Bath, but there's some things you can't defend, and that natural ability which Christian Wade has of navigating his way to a try line is exceptional. There's not many players in Europe that can do that. Genuine, this guy is box office. We barely spoke about him. You mentioned how many weeks and months he hasn't scored a try for. He scored 2 pearlers in about 5 minutes.
It's a breezy day, but Gopeth no trouble with the conversion. It's 14-0, and that's a new Premiership record. Their 101st try at 2016 takes them beyond Richmond's previous best, and if you're going to do that, do it in style.
It's just a joy to watch him planning his route through, isn't it? Once he gets past one guy, he's automatically looking, using that spatial awareness of where the defenders are going to come from, how best to set them up for a step.
Wasps are motoring here, and now Launchbury, talking about Bath's defence being the best in the Premiership so far this season. It's gone AWOL in the early phases of this match. And again, Wasps get the ball to Wade anyhow, anywhere, he'll score. A little bit ambitious from that position, but he's made it up to the 10-metre line.
I mean, Bath only conceded 13 tries in the opening 10 rounds, and they've conceded 2 in 7 minutes. Christian Wade, wow.
Now to run.
Cat was calling for it. Man of the match against his hometown club Bristol in the Premiership last month, and Ford. It's a kick for Falatau to contest if he can get there. He worked very hard, but Gopeth, in the end, under a little bit of pressure, was able to secure it. And Cipriani and Beale trying to do away. Oh, that's brilliant. He's got Young up on his shoulder, and Young got the ball at the same time, and given the congestion that he faced immediately, did well to hold on to it. But first Wade, and now Beale ripping fluorescent passages through Bath's defence at the moment. Passages that Todd Blackadder will be keen to shut down. Cipriani looks for another. This is Homer. Still no Anthony Watson, broken jaw that he suffered with England. We're hearing that he may be back for the Exeter game on New Year's Eve. Ford. Oh, that's nicely done. Very nicely done. Aled Brew tried to link up with Joseph, but couldn't get the ball away. Ford, as Cat shrugs off the challenge of Ashley Johnson, and this is Batty, and it's now Bath who will reply in kind at the other end. What a passage of play, what handling, what a score from the visitors.
Oh, outstanding from Bath. Under big pressure, we saw a huge hit coming from Curtly Beale. They didn't panic, making good decisions all the time. But fantastic play from Jonathan Joseph in the lead up to that, to burst away and create the opportunity, and then when Batty gets it, lovely little bounce off from Cat. Batty managing to push his way away, use that fend to accelerate away.
Have a quick one with the suspension bar. Just make sure they're not.
He's having quite a weak try scoring wise. He's only just got his breath back from that 70-metre run to the line against Cardiff last week. And
yeah,
2 tries, 100 metres in a week. He's on brilliant form.
Fair enough.
I'm sure Mary Poppins must be on somewhere. It's a wonderful live Casablanca, but nothing can match this for five-star entertainment right now. 3 tries in the opening quarter, and not just 3 tries. 3 tries that we'll remember long after the Christmas hangover has subsided. Wasps, for the first time, having their grip weakened by a wonderful try for Bath and for Batty.
Yeah, here's the Jonathan Joseph break, that outside drift and then the accelerate and step in. The hand up to fend, and then has to hold on. It's a good blocking line run by Wade, but they don't panic, recycle, and they end up with the 5 points, and the 7 points.
Falatau again.
Tackle only.
Ford, a couple of steps backwards. Mighty boot forwards. Lines of his opposite number. Taken in by Ford, and he manages to escape the grasp of Nathan Hughes.
Go for the ball, play on!
Oh, well, did Ashley Johnson come in to disrupt things, and he's won it back for Wasps.
Yeah, just wonder whether he slapped that ball out, but referee's happy with it.
Taylor, Beale, this is Wade. First 2 tries from him had Wasps 14-0 ahead. Gaskell. Simpson to Cipriani, cuts back inside to re-engage his scrum half. He's looking for a way out, decides that Gaskell's the best option.
Just Joe Simpson got in the way on that last phase. Cipriani had found Beale running on that inside ball off the breakdown.
Off feed 7. Wasps, use it!
Moore. Daly. That was high. Matt Garvey amongst those conspiring to
just a penalty.
Bring the player down illegally. Charteris as well. It's Charteris who takes the lecture.
Yeah, of course. Coast call.
Yeah, when you're 7'6" and they're running away from you, difficult to drop the height properly, but clear penalty.
Frank Halai back with us, having
Yeah,
failed
he's happy
his
with that. The one body on the one arm around the body.
HIA, but
Other one snipped up, that's all.
trying to watch the rest of the game as it unfolds.
This was what I was talking about before. Beale just running that hidden line back on the inside. Cipriani spots it, cuts back, but unfortunately Simpson's in the way there, otherwise Beale could be motoring in on towards Tom Homer and perhaps even further.
Jimmy Gotteth, the Aviva Premiership's top point scorer so far this season. He's well clear of the rest. That takes him up to 135 so far this campaign. 36 clear of his nearest chaser, Alex Lazowski. Wasps back into a 10-point lead midway through this first half, 17-7. Beale's coming to claim that, but it was Homer who got his fingertips to it first, but not significantly. So Joe Simpson can find green grass. Now with Brew.
Alan Brew's a physical winger, and I tell you what, he looks up and he sees Christian Wade fly for out. That boy can tackle. You run at him and he'll put you away. So a soft turnover, a really good search and kick from Joe Simpson, backed up with a good chase from Christian Wade.
His contract was actually due to expire this week, but he's played so well, covering for injuries, that they have extended it until the back end of next year. So he's earned himself an extra 12 months employment.
Yeah, deservedly, very good player, played against him, very physical, good finisher. He's slotted him perfectly into Bar's system.
Taken in by Ross Batty, try scorer a few minutes ago. Tony Taylor's lost 2 of the 3 lineouts so far. Set piece that had been secure up to this point of the season, causing 1 or 2 problems.
No question the calling. It's probably Gaskell calling it in there and throwing up nice little balls for someone the height of Luke Charteris just to pop up.
Charteris again. Photo Ali'i to Ford. What a combination that has been. This is low. Such strong driving.
Ford switching sides.
Garvey. Lassoed by Hughes. Photo Ali'i. Ben Tapaway, player of real quality, and he finds low.
Tackle!
This is Cat, and now Brew. Photo Ali'i, Joseph. Pistons for feet, so hard to stop, to bring down. Falatau, a little bit scruffily, but swept up by Atwood. And now Garvey. Ooh, there's a little bit of a hole developed there, but it was plugged by Gaskell. Photo Ali'i. Ford inviting Joseph to take another couple of strides forward. Cat's waiting for it, but it finds its way to Garvey instead, in Young and Launchbury with the defensive work 5 metres out. And this a gathering Bath storm. How well, via the likes of Falatau, they've hauled themselves back into this contest, and they're going to score another try. And it's Dave Atwood, who's winning England caps again this season and scoring tries for his club.
Well, just really patient work from Bath, constantly a threat. And the work between Falatau and Ford. First Falatau running that short line to hold defenders, drag defenders in. and then Bath have an opportunity. They've got an overlap, and there's no one better to get the ball into the hands of than George Ford, because he'll wait until you bite in on him, and then he'll choose the best option, and the best option happens to be the big lighthouse with the longest reach, who can reach his way over the line from nearly 5 metres out.
Well, they've scored contrasting tries, these two. Wasps with the fireworks, Bath with the heavy percussion and the handling and the patience, but in their own way there have been 4 tries of the highest quality, Hugo.
Really have been, but look at the work of George Ford here. His delay on the ball makes this from being a 2-on-1 tackle to a 1-on-1 tackle, and Dave Attwood up against Elliot Daly, 2 metres out, only one winner.
Let's have a chat with Darren Edwards, part of the Bath coaching team. Let's start with the negatives, Darren, and the defensive work for those first 2 Christian Wade tries. Early thoughts?
Yeah, they were loose, from a drop catch. You hope that would have been dealt with. But more so is disappointing that we had some line breaks in the first half. We couldn't put some pressure on them.
The positives, very much the way you've grappled your way back in, and those 2 beautifully worked tries. You will have enjoyed the handling and the patience of it all.
Yeah, it was. Our structure of our attack was working well there, and as you can see, there's a lot of threatening strike runners out there on the field today, so there's some good rugby being played.
We've got 2 fly halves who like to kick it in Cipriani and Ford, but are you coming into this trying to play a little bit more ball in hand, to have a little bit more possession?
Yeah, I think it's important we hold the ball because, Wasps have got a devastating attack as well, so the more we can put it through the phases, the more pressure we'll put on them.
All right, brilliant. Thanks, Darren.
Cheers.
Back in the saddle for the first time in a month. Calf strain kept him out of the game at Worcester in the double-header against Connacht. Cipriani up against Ford today, and Foto Ali'i taking it, and Ben Tapawai showing what an impact player he can be from inside centre. Still no Matt Banahan amongst the injured, but Tapawai an equal handful for defences, and Rocca Daguni trying to get onto a ball that Miller gathers under some pressure.
Quality of Bath's clear out when they've got the ball, and the speed of ball they're getting is really causing Wasps problems. Can't get a man in to slow it down like we're used to seeing the likes of Ashley Johnson do. Now they've got to clear their lines.
But they also need to get to touch, really, because when you look at the way Bath have littered their backfield, we've got George Ford, Faletau, Tom Homer, and that's a really good clearance from Joe Simpson. Yeah, just looking at that last try, just the work of George Ford, just his timing on the ball, his playmaking ability. Look how he commits Jimmy Gopperth here, runs straight at him, got straight to the line to release him. That takes Jimmy Gopperth out of the game, and Dave Attwood's always going to win that 1-on-1 with Elliot Daly. Really good, intelligent play.
And in particular, because the pass is so late, Daly can't keep going forward, so he loses all his momentum. He's rocking back on his heels. There's nothing he can do to put any power into that tackle.
All right, so a scrap going on for the ball at the line-out at the moment. Both sides who are normally pretty good, not very good right now. 7 line-outs and 4 of them have been lost, as Gopperth clears long and safely. 9th start in midfield this season for him, accommodating the arrival of Danny Cipriani, but I think he's enjoying the challenge. I think we all assumed that when the big stars came back, Gopperth might move back to 10, but such has been Cipriani's form that David Young has seen a system that maybe they wouldn't have thought about playing at the start of the season, but it's worked for them. It
certainly has, and it says a lot about Jimmy Gopperth. Some people just accept, hey, a big name comes in, I may have to play second fiddle, but he's worked his game and developed it. A valuable member.
Try scorer Ross Batty working hard this season to be the first choice hooker. Rob Webber having headed back to the north to pay his mortgage. Scrap for the ball that Launchbury's battling away for with Foto Ali'i. Launchbury gets there. A stormer of a game here against Connacht a couple of weeks ago. Came back from his ban in that game and was all over the place in the home Champions Cup game.
No. Use it.
Alan Brew positioning himself to gather this box kick from Simpson. Ford.
That's taken in.
Miller. Ball was taken into the 22, so Beale can't kick it directly out if he wants to. Goes cross-field back to the Welshman, Drew. First try for the club at the Arms Park in Cardiff in the Challenge Cup during the European break. And Simpson, head down. Again to Ford.
Don't go forward, don't go forward.
Potential suitors lining up like dance partners at a Christmas ball at the moment. We still don't know for sure if he's leaving. I suspect that he might be. And that's been lost forward by Wade. He came a long way to gather it. He had a while to think about it.
Advantage over.
The advantage wasn't played for long as Ford seeks space. He might have got his angles. Well, it'll work out okay. It might work out very well, but Beale was alert enough and uses the right boot of Miller. And Ford on halfway, who accelerates, sensing that they're beginning to win this kicking game. Here's Homer. Time to use the hands. Joseph to Garvey. Bruce to his left. Garvey straightens it up and just ties in 2 or 3 tacklers. Homer, Charteris. And this is Cat. Bath do look very comfortable, ball in hand, making ground. Tapawai. Handful of Australian caps playing alongside Curtly Beale 4 years ago.
Saying up until that point, Jimmy Gopperth knew the laws very well. Bath just finding it easy to win these collisions or win the rucks after the ball's been carried up. Just think Wasps need to slow them down a little bit, make it more of a fight in there.
Ball's been in play a long time. Would be an ideal opportunity for those X-Factor players to be targeting those tight fives. Been a lot of kick chase, been a lot of running side to side especially. Plenty of quality players out there.
Yes, Jonathan Joseph was lining up opposite Matt Mullen there, and he's looking to take Mullen on here, but he gives the ball instead to Tapawai, and this is Batty, and Batty loses it. A real shame after a decent phase of possession. The danger, whenever Bath have that ball through so many phases, I guess, Hugo, is the threat that Wasps pose on the counter-attack.
Of course, you can't ever give them too much of an opportunity of just watching the work of what Wasps do off counter-attack and how quickly they get their backs behind the ball. This has been taken by Jimmy Gopperth. He finds his mate Rob Miller. Rob Miller finds another back in Joe Simpson. It's quality after quality, who finds Danny Cipriani, who then finds Curtly Beale. He then takes the ball on and identifies those tight five forwards. They work so hard to give themselves that opportunity. When those quality backs connect, things like that happen.
Curtly Beale, who scored a try in his debut here against Connacht in the Champions Cup a fortnight ago. Young kids watching Curtly Beale this Christmas, Hugo, an appreciation of what he offers as a running back. What do you enjoy when you see him play?
It's the ability which he has carrying the ball in 2 hands, not just for himself but bringing other people into the games. I've watched him just play the last 3 games. He hasn't done anything sensational like what we've seen from Christian Wade, but it's doing the simple things exceptionally well time and time again. His error rate is minimal, defensively very strong. He's a perfect model of someone to watch if you play those outside backs.
He's also very, very smart, isn't he? He makes very quick decisions. He spots space, so it seems quicker than other people, which not only helps himself when he's carrying against the likes of Luke Charteris, as we just saw there, but also in terms of bringing other people in. He's got a fantastic skill set. I saw Tim Horan around the England-Australia game, and he was saying that 2 biggest players he thinks Australian rugby have been Matt Tamur going to Leicester and Curtly Beale coming here. He thinks they're both that good.
Interesting to see if Wasps can hold on to him at the end of the season. His contract is up. He only signed a 1-year deal. I know they're talking at the moment.
They don't ever struggle to find quality. It was Charles Piatow we were worried about last year. It's now Curtly Beale.
Use it.
Simpson with the clearing kick. And Aled Brew knew that he could give that up as soon as it came off the boot. That was heading out of play. Trying Galway last Saturday looked like it might have helped beat Connacht. It might have done if the officials had known the laws. Connacht may well still have scored from the next passage of play, but they were helped by the award of the line out.
Just going back to Hugo's point about picking off the tired forwards, they've just all ambled really slowly to this line out. There are opportunities. It's been a quick game so far.
Here is Brew. Tackled by Cipriani. Forward again, and Joseph battling to get underneath this, and it was Beale who positioned himself perfectly.
That's another thing he offers you, security at the back. He's so commanding, whether it's by voice, or actions. I know we talk about him a lot, but he is that good. He really is.
Boss, use it.
Rockadaguni swimming in
No,
field.
I don't think he was, Pete. I don't think he was.
Ball went backwards, but Launchbury makes sure that it comes back on a Wasp side.
By Wasps, going back.
It's actually lost forward by a Wasp's hand, so it'll be a Bath scrum.
Say again. Yeah, got it. Thanks, Paul. Up we come, Bath. Up we go. Are you down, yeah? Okay, time off.
Not sure that's touched Launchbury yet. Does he knock it on here? Well, that goes backwards off Launchbury. I think he's harshly done by that.
So
Once we're done
That's
here,
nice.
another chance to enjoy Eddie Jones chatting to Alistair Eakin, reflecting recently on his and England's perfect year. BT Sport 1 HD at 4:15. Next live game with us, huge one from Ashton Gate on Boxing Day. Bristol against Worcester, contest that will help decide who's in the Aviva Premiership next season. 2:30 BT Sport 2. And then on the 27th, the Tuesday, big game 9 from a packed-out Twickenham Quins against
not on that
Gloucester.
one, last
All
one.
the usual
Previous
pizzazz
scrum,
that we've
Bath
come to
going
expect from that
just pass the
fixture.
message on to both.
We'll set a bit further right so we square it.
Yeah, no problem.
Interesting selection of hairstyles,
Let's go.
not least from the hookers. Tommy Taylor on the left, Ross Batty on the right. Batty flanked by Nathan Catt and Max Laheath. Mullen and Moore providing the pillars for Wasps and for Taylor.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
2, 3, 4. Ready! Ready! And 2, 3, 4. I'm on blind.
Advantage then, advantage to Bath. Loose head,
Luke
is it
Pearce
Craig?
gave that a long, hard look and decided that it was
Number 1,
Matt Mullen.
collapse. Number 1.
150th Premiership appearance today, majority of them for Worcester, just for Worcester, although he's catching them up in a Wasp shirt now, 3 seasons since he became a Wasp.
Close. Yeah, the mark's here, you have them? Here.
I think we're going to get one of those long-range rocket launchers from Tom Homer. He's gambling here with a very impressive kick rate recently. He's up to 92%, 11 out of 12, which, given that he very often goes for these kicks from a different universe, really does say something about his accuracy and his range, Hughes.
Yeah, massive length, but all with control. But 92%, I'd have kicked to the corner and protected my stats, I'll tell you.
Look on Ben's face suggests he'd have fancied a line out as well. The percentages dropped just a little bit as the ball dropped just in front of the posts. But you have to admire his ambition.
Of course, it's also a warning sign for Wasps. Anything in and around that 50-metre mark, that halfway mark, Tom Homer's going to stick his hand up and have a go. 92%, more often than not, those will be knocked over.
Restart claimed by Garvey. One of 2 co-captains, George Ford's the other, Photo Elite. It's turned out to be a very good signing for Bath this season.
Hold there, right.
Miller takes his spot in the posh seats.
Thanks, Paul.
Starting at number 10 against Worcester at Sixways 3 weeks ago now. So he's an adaptable player, such a clever, skillful player, Rob Miller. Now a line-out that's not operating that smoothly, works with Atwood gathering it, and then Falatau to Ford, and Rockadaguni offering himself, and Homer striding after Rockadaguni. Gopeth rather dragging Rockadaguni to the ground, but it wasn't a tackle, so they could go on, and Bath switch it the other way with Tapawai on the bounce, and Hughes was very close to intercepting it. Bath with free ball. Brew, oh, he sent space, and he gathers it nicely. Popped up to Joseph. Ashley Johnson there to haul the outside centre to the ground. And then it's picked up by Young, and Young's burgled it, and I'm not sure anyone's going to catch him. And the boss's son, who's had a storming first half, caps it with a try of his own.
Well, Thomas Young really sharp in that breakdown, but look at the tackle from Ashley Johnson. He does this a fair bit. Lovely little chip over the top, the inside ball. Joseph on the front foot. But watch this, not only does he stop him, he flips him back, takes him away from his own support players, which means no one clears out properly. Thomas Young comes through. Elliot Daly with the clear out on Foto Alihi. And that just leaves the ball lying there. And Thomas Young, who we've already seen his pace once this afternoon. This time, he does it all himself.
He's had to operate without James Haskell so far this season because of his toe injury. Haskell, we're hearing, may well be back to play against Leicester in the Premiership at the start of 2017, but in Haskell's absence, Young has once again underlined what a quality player he is.
Thanks.
Gopeth with the extras. Now, if we're going to take your attention from other perhaps more pressing matters on a day like Saracens second, extra third, there you go.
Thanks, mate.
And amidst the welter of numbers that we threw at you in that first half, confirmation that Wasps looking to close out this year without being beaten here at home at the Rico. 17 wins from 17 games so far. If they can secure this one, then they will be unblemished at home in 2016. Still a lot of work to be done, though. We saw how well Bath fought their way back into it, having conceded those quick early tries to Christian Wade, Ross Batty and Dave Atwood, pulling them back within punching distance before Thomas Young, giving Wasps a little bit more of a cushion before half-time. 5 tries and a very entertaining first 40 minutes. Alid Brew played his part in that. Oh, that's been lost by Atwood.
Leave it.
Simpson. Gopeth. Once again, the handy option of an inside centre who also play at fly half. And it's fired away long by Brew.
A different approach from Bath today. They realise they can't just afford to wait and get the opportunities. They need to force the tempo at times themselves. We've seen George Ford trying to accelerate to the line a little bit more. Atwood there spilling the ball, which didn't help things, but they were trying to create space on the outside. But there must always be in the back of their mind that threat that even when they feel they're on top, Wasps can strike at any moment.
Johnson cottoning onto that lovely popped-up pass from Cipriani. Held up just inside the 10-metre line. Cipriani again. Really nicely done by Beale to pick up a ball that wasn't the most sympathetic.
It's Ross Batty who's down there, just with a little stinger, I think, as he tried to tackle Ashley Johnson as he came on that barnstorming run. He's at it again.
Ball out of the tackle as he tumbled to the floor to find Gaskell, picked up by Simpson. Cipriani to Gopeth. Got handy numbers here, Wasps, if they can get the ball away. Gaskell, Johnson. Again, this Bath defence still shorn of the services of Batty. Cipriani once more. Taylor accelerating onto it, but he was merely the dummy. Beautifully popped up for Wade, who's off hunting a Christmas hat-trick. Simpson to Launchbury. Wasps have scored on each of their visits to the 22 thus far. What of this latest occasion? Miller. Gopeth flicks it back to Johnson. To Hughes.
That's fantastic interplay. Even the angles of what's forward and not so calm under pressure.
Mullen. Marty Moore. Dubliner settling into his first season as a Premiership player. Likewise, Beale, and Cipriani gives it some space, and there's Wade waiting. And has he managed to get it down? Luke Pearce not sure. Confirmation or otherwise of a Christian Wade hat-trick will have to wait.
Yeah, use it.
I think that just shows what a genuinely good bloke Joe Launchbury is, because he did his best to say the referee that's a definite try, but didn't look overly convincing. He wasn't sure. Do well to wrap the arms underneath. Do they hold him up? Foot's now under as well.
It's a combination of Photo Elite and Homer trying to put spades underneath that ball. This will be the best angle, surely. Has Photo Elite managed to turn Wade?
I think Homer's foot is underneath, isn't it? Or his shin just underneath. I don't think you can give that, can you?
I don't think so.
That's Graham Hughes, the TMO, by the way. That's the best we have to offer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's no clear grounding, so it's a scrum 5, black ball, yeah.
Okay, time on. No try.
Brilliant interplay from Wasps to get to that position, though. They have Curtly Beale at first receiver, and it's just that mild pause that each of the ball players have on the ball, just to hold the defender, make him not be able to drift as quickly as he wants, but still get the ball out wide to Christian Wade quickly. So there you go, goes to Curtly Beale, he just has a pause on it, then he fires the ball out. A little pause from Cipriani, drags in defenders again, and they create just enough room on the outside for Wade. But it's a monstrous hit coming in. Was it Francois Lowe?
It's Photo Elite who came in.
Photo Elite, you're right, yeah.
This is the starter play. Christian Wade benefited off the back of this, and Francois Lowe is so wide of the threat of the winger. He's overread it. Ashley Johnson gets them onto the front foot, and once they get that momentum, they're so hard to stop.
Now you'll have seen the change in the middle of that Bath front row. Poor old Ross Batty wasn't able to recover from the clattering that he took from Ashley Johnson, so Tom Dunn coming into the most pressurised of situations. Defensive scrum, 5 metres out. Perhaps a premature end to Ross Batty's match. Confirmation that he's heading off for the HIA. But anyway, Tom Dunn definitely in the middle of that front row. And the penalty goes against Max Laheath. Hearing, by the way, that they're not bothering with the HIA. It's a permanent change. Ross Batty for Tom Dunn. Now Batty's opposite number, Tommy Taylor. Needs some running repairs.
Good point. Yeah, no props.
News of the crowd, by the way,
okay,
on Christmas Eve. A smidge over 26,000 here at the Rico today, which is the highest Aviva Premiership crowd of the campaign so far, anywhere beyond the London doubleheader. They'll have another bumper one, 70,000 plus at Twickenham on the 27th. It's sold out at Sandy Park today.
I think a few of them might have come dressed as blue seats.
Either way, a great job by Ross commercial team.
Taken in by Gaskell, spat out, picked up by Simpson. Nathan Hughes. back in a Wasp shirt after becoming an England player over the autumn for the first time, but it's been stolen, brought away by Garvey.
Tackle! Away Wasps!
Wasps trying to hold Garvey up, but he finally gets it down. Tapawai. Angled away off the left boot. One Australian to another. This is Beale. Miller, who was on very early on for Frank Halai, who took a head knock. Launchbury. 100th game today for the captain.
Advantage Wasps are not gone. Advantage over.
Wade. Johnson. Johnson's had a good game. Carrying the ball forward through some very congested, bruising areas. Likewise Cipriani. Here goes Elliot Daly, who's escaped the clutches of Tapawai, and Daly's on his bike here, and he's got Beale up in support. What's Beale gone to Wade? Hat-trick, Christian Wade. That was brilliant. Oh my goodness. This is a sport well worth watching when it's played like that by Wasps.
Oh, what a treat today has been. Lethal, sharp finishes all combining. Running angles impossible to defend. Daly on that outside arc, cuts back, accelerates through. Beautiful inside ball, out the back door. And then Beale just goes searching for the support that he knows is going to come. Look at this, the step, screaming for it, Beale. Daly reacts to it. And then Wade cuts that line straight in under the posts for the hat-trick. And the bonus point.
Santa had Wasps' backs pulling the sleigh tonight. He'd get around the world in about 2 hours.
Unbelievable once again. Elliot Daly, the X-factor, his ability not only to break a tackle but accelerate, but then it's the link-up play. Curtly Beale to Christian Wade for his 5th Premiership hat-trick. Last year he scored 6 against Worcester. He's already scored a hat-trick in 47 minutes. When they connect, when they get going, Wasps' attacking backline are deadly.
Again, more numbers for you. That's Wade's 18th Premiership try of 2016. He's leaving in Bolshaw in his wake. Oh, Bolsh now a previous record holder. And Wasps up to 819 points in the league in total. That again is a new record, overtaking the one that they and Bath both jointly held from 2000. They've scored more tries than anyone else as well. Beaten Richmond's Hall in the first half.
Away first.
Whether you're a spectator or a blue seat, you get value for money here at the Rico, Ben.
I think there'll be a lot less blue seats if Wasps continue playing like this. It's fantastic rugby to watch.
Rockadaguni hit hard. It was Cipriani who stopped him. And as a result, Wasps have won this back. 8th turnover. Johnson to Launchbury, and then the clip through. But the ball will beat everyone and bounce out of play.
Well, Thomas Young showing all his skills, trying to dab that through with the outside of the right ball. Photo elite, he's gone quick though, delivered it to Homer.
Tapawai's got a big boot on him.
Cannon, just to be able to split the pitch, right foot, left foot. Falatau looks to be struggling just a little bit, having a conversation with physio at the top of the bar pitch.
I suspect anybody who weighs more than 12 stones might be struggling in this match. It's being played at that kind of pace. Wasps are having one of those few minutes. They're going to go for the post, which gives us time to update scores from the other games. Allianz Park started at 1:30, so half an hour ahead there. About 10 minutes to go. Saracens still leading 16-6. Marcelo Bosch with a try. Chris Ashton has come back and he's playing again for Saracens. Meantime, at Sandy Park, a 3:30 kickoff, so they've not been playing long, and Thomas Waldrom has taken no time at all to score against his old mates. Chiefs leading Tigers 7-0. Waldrom's 7th try of the season, moving ahead on his own at the top of the try-scoring tree. Well, actually, we need to work out where Wade is now with those 3. It's been a while since he scored his last, but Waldron anyway definitely has 7. The wind had knocked the ball off the tee, but
Not long.
Gopperth hadn't started his run-up, so he was able to go back and re-spot it. Wallop between the posts, and the lead suddenly 20 points, and we've still got half an hour to play. Wasps 34, Bath 14.
It'll take a lot now, isn't it, from George Ford pulling the strings just to calm and build confidence in his team. They need to play a bit of the game down in Wasps 22. Give themselves opportunities. A lot of what they've been doing has been around the halfway line.
What a brilliant take. Great restart from George Ford. That's exactly what they needed. The ball back in Wasp half.
With Nathan Catt, who'll hit 100 Premiership appearances early in the new year. Ford to Francois Lowe. First Premiership appearance of the season for him. Down by the hamstring injury on that awful day for the Springboks against New Zealand in Durban back in October. This is Drew, who again has fought ferociously, but they've lost possession, and Gopperth was in there, but they've won it back. Ashley Johnson having a little fish over the top. Net result, Bath scrum.
Yeah, they were. No. Turnover was legal, then you're rucked off it, scrum, Bath ball.
Hugo, what have you been looking at?
Yeah, just been looking at that last try. It's a really nice, like, lazy line from Joe Launchbury. Just takes the eye line of Ben Tapawai just for a fraction of a second, and then it's all about Elliot Daly. But look at Christian Wade, top of the picture. His work rate to come off that right wing, and Curly B's skill just to find him. Christian Wade isn't just a traditional winger that stands out wide, waiting for the ball to come to him. He pops up all over the place. I've said it quite a few times. This Wasp backline are desperately quick to get together just because they're always expecting someone to do something, because when you've got that amount of game breakers, you want to be at the end of it, and Christian Wade was that guy.
Confirmation that Wade and Waldron now lead the way tries-wise so far in the Aviva Premiership, 7 apiece. And Matt Scott we will enjoy at Twickenham in the big game for Gloucester against Quins on Tuesday. He's having a fabulous season as well.
He's in the way at the moment. He's in the way.
Wednesday's rugby tonight, by the way, once all the festivities are over and just the crumbs of the mince pies are left. We've got Saracens coach Alex Sanderson with us, Claremont Canada's Jamie Cutmore, and the referee Claire Daniels, who's quite a story to tell, with us on Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Straight. Stay straight.
Ashley Johnson's been patched up.
Right, okay, so time's... Hang on, time's still off. Number 8, Bath, change. Number 8.
What a huge asset he is to the squad as well, playing as he can now.
Thanks,
and not just hooker, but also back in the old position of blindside flanker. He is the backup hooker to date. They don't have a spare one on the bench, so he knows he's going to have to do the 80. And Tom Ellis has come on, replacing Talupe Falatau.
Here we go.
Crouch!
And this 22-year-old enjoying his breakthrough season. He too making a sizable impression in the absence of Francois Lowe, who's now alongside Lowe, and here's Hughes.
Stay bound, 5!
It's good from Simpson.
Johnson cleared away under some pressure. Sorry.
All the pressure now on Bath to do something, and they're just going to try and force mistakes and then react to those opportunities like we've just seen, get themselves into attacking positions and go up through the gears again. A couple of times Bruce been caught under the high ball, Hugo.
Yeah, he has been, and for me this is a concentration thing. He's already looking up just as he thinks he's going to come into his breadbasket, and those little errors aren't really helping at all.
The weight off.
That's the man who's pumped his money into Wasps, Derek Richardson, and right now he's thinking it's been money well spent. Alex Reader has come on for Ashley Johnson. So Johnson won't be covering hooker anymore. So we'll be rather hoping that Tommy Taylor can make it to the finish line.
Crutch!
Alex Reader wearing number 16, and just to confirm, but not to be confused with a hooker. There's an extra back rower amongst the reserves, Tom Cruise amongst the injured.
We're not going to scrum if it's not straight. Line up.
And there'll be Bath supporters and Wales supporters with the Six Nations just around the corner, worrying just a little bit whenever they see that, but if it's nothing more than precautionary eyes. Hugo.
Just look at the threat of Christian Wade. He's all alone on that right wing, but Bath have had to send over 2 players because you cannot leave a guy with that amount of ability and that amount of space. So George Ford, they've had to overload that side, which may give opportunities for Wasps going from left to right.
Well, that is a dominant scrum. Penalty. Nathan Hughes celebrating like he'd scored a try.
Just wonder whether there was a temptation from Hughes to pick it up once it wheeled. A lot of space in front of him.
Team's on. Point scored. I know, but I think you've got a couple of other kickers as well, so time's on. You have 90 seconds of a penalty, so...
But he knows who's most important to him, the front row boys.
Just take the time off for a second.
Oh, excellent. A Mexican wave. Said no one ever.
Yeah, just took 2 seconds on his track.
Judging by that, James Haskell started it, didn't he?
No, he has stopped that.
Good to see Banter Claus at the side of the pitch cheering his teammates along.
Banter Claus. That hat looks great, doesn't it?
Just about fits on his big head.
Really does. Right, it's coming round to us, boys. We do not move.
It's not a chance of that happening.
Hearing, by the way, of a story at Allianz Park where Chris Ashton, having just returned from his long ban, has scored a try for Saracens against Newcastle, a try that will surely secure the win for them against the Falcons. And guarantee they will head into Christmas top of the tree. Don't there's any question as to who's going to head into Christmas as the second highest bauble on the Premiership tree, and it will be Wasps, and Jimmy Gopperth scores an extra 3 points, and we're starting to see changes as both sides start to perhaps save legs for contests to come. Luke Charteris replaced by Elliot Stook, and Kane Palmer Newport is on as well for Max Laheath.
Take from Launchbury. Sets it up, we'll get a box kick maybe again. Again, pressure back on the back three of Bath.
Careful.
Rockadaguni. Absolutely to Ford. And then Stook, who's just joined us, finding Homer, who invites Jonathan Joseph to go on a little bit of a burst, which he will do gladly. Strength to get through the challenges. Now Ford, it's not really been his show, it's not been his pantomime on this Christmas Eve, it's others who've had starring roles. It'll be time for Ford to remind us of his star quality as well. And that's been lost. It's Nathan Catt on the floor, having been more than competitively placed at half-time. Bath.
No advantage. Scrum Wasps.
Distinctly second best in this second period.
Yeah, you mentioned George Ford, and he hasn't been too much of a factor, but I guess it's hard when your forwards are getting beaten up front, and that's exactly what Wasps have done. They've really imposed their game upon Bath, and they haven't really featured. He needs that platform if Bath are to get anything out of this game, but at the moment, let's face it, every facet of the game, Wasps have been on top.
He's one down. Okay, time off. Loose head down.
Once we're done here, we've got more from Eddie Jones. If you haven't seen it yet, well worth a watch. Him chatting with Ali about his and England cheer this year. And we've got 2 more live games to look forward to over Christmas. On Boxing Day, Bristol against Worcester. It won't decide who's going to stay up and who's going to go down, but it will colour the second half of the season, that's for sure. 2:30 BT Sport 2, and then from Twickenham. Over 70,000 tickets sold already for Harlequins against Gloucester. That post-Christmas pizzazz. 3:30 BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD. A bit of concern for Matt Mullen. Turns 30 in February, but looks like he's fine to continue to re-engage in this latest scrum. That's Neil Hatley wearing a t-shirt a day before Christmas. It's just showing off.
Guns out.
It's just
I think he's
ridiculous.
frozen to death. He hasn't moved.
That's fine.
That is seriously rock. Hugo's dressed up like a penguin, and Neil Hatley's there in his vest.
That's the difference between a winger and a front rower.
Fine.
And he joined in the Mexican wave as well, we're hearing. So Hugo, we are suggesting, goes across there and gives him a slap a bit later.
Push forward, trying to increase the pace back into the game. Wants to get to the corner, get the ball in, drive going immediately.
That's a great kick from forward. He couldn't have got it any closer.
Massive opportunity, no points so far in the second half from Bath.
Tom Dunn, major moment. If Bath start to claw their way back into this contest, they've done the first bit, gathered by Dave Atwood.
Here come the backs to help the forwards.
Tom Ellis had one knee on the floor, but they're going on, and Ellis will dot down. And hope remains for the visitors. They finally get a punch of their own away in this second half, approaching the hour mark. And Tom Ellis with the try.
Well, the message will be coming on from that man. We must come away with something, even if that's just a 4-try bonus point. We have to come away with something from this game. And they set up well. The backs come in, not quite sure what to do, so they decide to back off. But really good control. Young goes in. Palmer Newport doing a really good effort at the front to ease that gap open.
First try of young Tom Ellis's career. First try in the Premiership. Remember your first Premiership try, Benny?
Arsenal leg.
Yeah, I do.
Can you tell us
It
about
was Bristol at Welford Road.
Need to phone a friend? No, okay. Hughes?
Yeah, it was against Wasps actually. Back at Adams Park. Called a crossfield kick, and I was up against Simon Shaw, so clearly I didn't want to run into him. Danced around him instead.
Wasn't far off from being a very nice kick, but it's a 5-point score.
Hugo remembered his a lot quicker, so I've obviously scored so many tries. Difficult to remember them all.
Well, this is a
It's
moment.
just really good control, isn't it? You can see Wasps lose too many bodies around that left-hand side of, as we look at it. And once they get lost at the back, there's only going to be one outcome.
Dan Robson is on for Joe Simpson. And Kiernan Weil for James Gasson.
Knock on, played by that Garvey in front.
One error compounded by another. The thing that will frustrate Todd Blackadder in this second half, Hugo, is just the accumulation of errors that Wasps have forced on Bath, but that have been coughed up by the visitors.
Yeah, really good pressure and precision from Wasps in terms of their kick and their detail, but the lack of concentration for Bath at key moments, and again they've just got themselves back into it and have invited Jimmy Gupper with another opportunity to wipe away 3 points from Bath's tally. Soft.
Full-time score from Allianz Park in the 1:30 kickoff, and Chris Ashton's try on his comeback, easing Saracens to the win in the end, but Newcastle competitive. And Thomas Waldron with the try as the Chiefs head into an early and handy lead against Leicester. They kicked off there at 3 o'clock, so approaching the half-hour mark. 3 more points off the boot of Jimmy Gopperth, and Wasps into the 40s, into the final quarter of this match. The decision to go for penalties, they've got the bonus point with the try now, is just to stay out of losing bonus point range, is it?
Absolutely, take away the max amount of points which they've amassed at the moment.
Right, quickly to find Matt Mullen.
Rugby backfield, Rugby back.
And Homer goes high, Miller positions himself underneath it.
No, 9!
And this is Reader. Introduced himself this season whenever he's had the opportunity, a very rugged, rumbustious from a Rotherham back rower. Cipriani bounces that along the floor into the arms of Ford, who kicks to Beale. Who sets fourth again. Runs into low. Launchbury. It's good work. Cat, but enough of his mates were there quickly enough to profit from it. In the end, Reader made sure that it's still Wasps' ball to use, with Mile back off the bench after he started the previous half a dozen in the Premiership. It's Thomas Young, who's had an influential game as well for Wasps. About to talk to Thomas Young's dad very shortly. We'll be having a chat with Di next time the ball goes dead. Gopperth, Wade amongst the chasers, putting more pressure on Alad Brew. This time he comes through it.
This is the part of the game, and this half, especially for Wasps, I've been really impressed. They've got the points, but their maturity to know when to play and when to get rid of the ball has been perfect so far.
Homer. Bodies and a little bit of space for Bath to use here. This is Rokoduguni. Gopperth inviting him to the touchline, and Rokoduguni just goes over the top, and oh, that was good covering back work from Robson.
Brilliant from Robson. The bounce did Cipriani. He could have easily eased off the gas, thinking that the Wasps fly half was going to get there.
Cipriani. Francois Lowe was trying to get hold of that ball, but he couldn't quite handle onto it. So let's have a chat with David Young. Di, let's talk first about that balance that Hugo just mentioned between playing the sparkling stuff that you have, but also knowing just when to get rid on occasions.
Yeah, we seem to be a little bit better towards the end of the first half and obviously the second half. We put a bit of pressure on ourselves early doors, but trying to push in passes deep inside our own half, and which meant we lost the territory battle. But we need to just keep to our systems. You know, we don't need to chase the game, so we don't need to push them passes. But when we get some field position, obviously just keep attacking.
The decision to go for the penalties now, having got the 4 tries, is just about preventing them from getting a losing bonus point, is it? What's the theory behind that?
It's about winning the game first and foremost, Nick. I think at the end of the day, you know, we know that they've got quality within their team. We're a little bit worried about our, certainly from looking at our energy levels. We've had some real tough games on the back of a 6-day turnaround. So if we can just keep the scoreboard ticking over, I'm making sure that I'm not biting my nails with 2 minutes to go.
We're looking for a smile from you. Even when your son scored, you were still there, weren't you? Stony-faced.
Yeah, I've ordered one for Christmas, Nick, so I'll give you one in the new year.
We've all chipped in, Di, don't you worry. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, Nick.
He's so well measured as a bloke, isn't it? And that really pulls through what they're about. And you can see that maturity really showing, especially in this second half. But he's right.
Oh, here goes Tapawai. And this is the danger that Wasps had talked about. Robson getting across, but Tapawai will score. And they're not done yet. Not done by a long way, Bath.
Well, that's the bonus point. So they'll still try and chase down a losing bonus point as the next goal, but they've come away with something at least from a frustrating day. Ford changing his mind, rolling back. Tapawai's been good this afternoon at times. Just accelerates well on that straight line and then does really well to skip out of Robson's flailing challenge. Just straightens up and then the outside arc just to give himself enough room. Excellent fend.
And scores his first try for his new club, the Australian Ben Tapawai, playing alongside Jonathan Joseph for the first time in the Premiership today. And the change, Nick Orterak on for Nathan Catt.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers, mate.
What a great game this has been. What a watch. Tough angle for the right-footed kicker, but that's world class.
It's a brilliant kick, absolute brilliant kicker. They need every point they can get, but we've got to say once again, it's just George Ford just realising where the space is. He picks up the ball here and realises nothing's on, so he goes back to where exactly was a week. A lovely pass, timing once again. Tapawai on the same wavelength, and then what a finish this is. Big handoff, composure, 7 points, chasing down another bonus point.
As the end of Curtly Beale's Premiership debut helped set up one of Christian Wade's tries, and such is the strength of Wasps' bench these days that they can bring on Kyle Eastman, back from a month-long chest injury, timely return against the club who dispensed with his services at the end of last season. And that's hard running from Drew, who clatters into Gopeth and draws the penalty. He's been put under pressure on occasions, Aled Brew, this afternoon, but he's not stopped.
Timing was perfect for me.
The fans are booing because they think that Gopeth's feet were still up when the tackle was made. The referee said timing's perfect.
Penalty, attacking side entry.
Nearly 100 metres made by Curtly Beale. It's one of the more puzzling aspects of the back end of last season. Kyle Eastman leaving Bath, having signed what he thought was a watertight contract, but there'll be a little bit of niggle in his belly coming up against Bath again today, Hugh.
Oh, absolutely. Whenever you play against a team that you've left, you certainly want to make a point that you are that. It's another penalty. Wasps are just getting a bit sloppy just the last couple of minutes. Really good intensity from Bath. Error upon error, and Wasps are back into the corner.
Wasps, timing.
Yeah, if they can come away with a 7-pointer here.
Yes.
Think how much pressure will go on the home side. We heard Darian talking about not wanting to bite his nails at the end of the game. If there's a score here, he might well be doing that.
Oh, it's over the top. Dunn was looking for the try scorer, Tom Ellis. What a shame.
Stay here, stay here.
Notice that Guy Thompson is on. This for a few minutes now, and under some pressure, with some relief, Dan Robson hammers the ball away. Interesting, it's not just about winning this match, clearly that's the priority, but about preserving energy levels at a really tough time for players and coaches, Christmas and New Year, with 3 games shoehorned into a tight period. Really have to manage resources, even when those resources are as rich as these two sides have. Blown that one by Ellis. Photo Elite again pressing the buttons, and again it's Tapawai driving straight and hard. Once more, Dunn. And again, this match that keeps on giving promises to offer even more. Last 10 minutes. It's Atwood.
Photo Elite just getting a bit of zip about his forwards, bossing them around, but they look like they turned it.
What kind of distance can Gopeth get? Well, he's not taken them beyond the 22. The pressure will continue from the line-out. He really has been the brightest of bright sparks since arriving from the Saints at the start of the season. Khan Photo Elite, he has added a real zip to what they do at scrum half.
Yeah, he's got that ability to get the ball quickly into George Ford's hands, really good delivery, but also know when's the right time to play fast, when to slow it down a little bit. Has that awareness of when 10 wants it and when he can use his forwards. Keep punching holes as they're doing now. Wasps coming back at them. They've reset well.
Okay, Bath, that's once.
This photo elite. Drew once more asking questions, as does Garvey. Ford was waiting, but Palmer Newport was the next to clock on. Now it's Ford running forward purposefully, but he and Jonathan Joseph spilling it. That's gone straight out. The quickest of advantages played by Luke Pearce. He's consistent. It's the way he's played it all match.
Certainly has. What Bath have been consistent about is turning the ball over. 3 bits of attacking possession in Wasps 22, 3 turnovers. They're fortunate to be able to get the ball back. Wasps aren't clearing the lines as well as what they want to do. But let's face it, in the last 10 minutes, they've really upped their intensity. I guess the question to ask is, where's it been up until this point?
Tom Bristow and Phil Swainston on for Marty Moore and Matt Mullen, who has reached the conclusion of his 150th Premiership appearance. He leaves with his side still having work to do to close out this thoroughly entertaining Christmas Eve effort. Both sides have played a full pass. Oh, it's been spilt again by Joseph. He's had the ball twice in the last 60 seconds, and on both occasions he's lost it.
So that's 4 times now.
To be fair to Joseph, the first one, I think, was Ford's error. He threw a pass and then didn't think it was going in the right place and stuck his hand back in and knocked it out of the flight that Jonathan Joseph thought it was on. But that one there, Eastman, since he's come on, has had a real bit of zip to the defensive line of Wasps. Seen him fly out of the line and catch George Ford in possession. There, using that pace to get to Joseph with his back turned and dislodge the ball.
Fine. Set.
I wouldn't be surprised now if we get a scrum penalty, was what I was about to say.
18.
It's Kane Palmer Newport. He's scoring a try a month so far this season. He's in good try scoring form. He's got 2 more chances left in December to keep that run going.
It's been a fascinating battle between Joseph and Elliot Daly. Both England outside centre options. Both have had a real impact, but Daly maybe just edging it slightly, though. It was Joseph who set up one of the tries for Bath.
Guy Thompson. Robson. I'll be working hard to keep Swainston off the floor, but not quite hard enough. Launchbury is outside the 22. This is Reeder. Cipriani, who's still with us, as is Tommy Taylor. Most of these no hookers on the bench. Penalty goes against Young.
Yeah. Holding up.
Perhaps against Tommy Taylor as well. Gently took the ball in.
No, stay again, man. Thank you.
Just a reminder, a big game here with us on BT Sport on Boxing Day. Bristol against Worcester, and then on the Tuesday, December the 27th, we're at a very nearly sold-out Twickenham for Harlequins against Gloucester. Big game night, which is always a lot of fun. How about that? And here goes Eastman. And this is Daly. The line-out has not been an area of strength for the visitors this afternoon. But there was no way through there, and Gotteth was shuffled out of
We spoke pre-match, didn't we? The importance of the line-out. It's not been an area that's functioned well, either in attack or defence for Bath. They've been better in defence today. And that's 4 they've lost now, is it, on their own ball?
Weren't even close with the lift either, Venable. Interesting to see what the plan is here. Jumper wasn't even off the floor and the ball was on its way. This one, the banker ball to Garvey at the front. Rob Miller, if you were late to the party, you replaced Frank Halai early on in the match. Halai taking a bang to the head, and here goes Miller. Have even more competition when Billy LaRue arrives in the new year. Here goes Taylor, big hole. Opportunities here, and Robson once more, and Launchbury. How quick's the ball? Eastman. Loose. Gopeth. Still Gopeth. It's been a while since Wasps scored their 4th try, the hat-trick for Christian Wade.
Tackle!
To the final 3 minutes as they hunt the 5th. Launchbury.
Counter-strike's good.
Oh, that was hard defensive work from Joseph. Reader forced to go back and pick up the bits. Strength to get over the 22. Mile took it forward.
Relax, relax, relax.
I'm going to come back to have a look at the potential high tackle.
Just a penalty, slip, grab, high tackle.
Just the penalty, quickly taken decision from Luke Pearce.
Brilliant interplay from Wasps to get them into the position. Here's the high tackle. Starts on the ball. How can that be a high tackle when the guy has shrugged him off, dipped underneath? January the 3rd, that's an automatic penalty. The referee says it's just a penalty now. But the second time he has a go at him, Reader dips underneath him. What can you do?
Just take a sec. Send him up, Paul. The 9's going behind the posts. Okay.
Darren Allenson, who was with Bath on loan from London Irish, replaces Khan Fotoligi, who has battled his socks off in what's looking increasingly like a losing cause now. Hooked out of the air by Launchbury. Done enough.
Garvey causing a mess in there. They was tried to shift quickly around the front, almost run it.
Aviva man of the match.
There's been some really good performances today on both teams, as you'd imagine, of the quality of play that's out. Thomas Young, I think, has been outstanding, scored a great try, saved a couple, but I can't look any further than Christian Wade. You score a hat-trick the day before Christmas Eve present. There you are, Christian Wade, Aviva Premiership man of the match. I enjoyed that.
Cheap cheer.
Be quiet, we may get another Mexican wave, Nick.
Crouch! Fine!
90 seconds.
How we can. Time on, Paul. Time on. Relax, relax. Hey, hey, hey. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Watch him put it out. Okay, time on.
Again, when the ball has been carried a lot.
Free-flowing game, hasn't it?
Crunch!
5 metres a carry. Just to put it in perspective, Sale yesterday had 2 metres per carry.
Brew trying to cotton onto the kick. Oh dear! Well,
Nothing
may well have been an accidental crash landing, and it's good to see Gopeth get back to his feet so quickly, but that for a moment looked like it might be very awkward.
There's absolutely nothing in it. They've both got their hands to the ball.